Governor DeWine signed amended substitute House Bill 197 into law. This law is in response to health risks associated with the coronavirus outbreak. Among other things, the law allows public bodies, such as boards of education, to conduct their meetings using telephone conference, video conference, or other similar technologies. The law became effective on March 27th, 2020. At the March 30th, 2020 board meeting, the West Geauga Board of Education approved a resolution to suspend portions of certain bylaws, which were not consistent with board meetings by telephone conference or video conference. A second resolution was passed on December 14th, 2020, extending the board's ability to meet via electronic means until July 1st, 2021. This meeting is a meeting of the West Geauga Local School District Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the West Geauga Local School District's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for public participation during the meeting, as indicated in the agenda. Please use the chat room function located at the bottom of the webpage if you would like to be recognized for public participation. Can I get a roll call?
You can. Mr. Ramey?
Here.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Dr. Beers?
Yes.
Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
All right. Rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, Jim, you always make this thing go full screen. Okay. Additions or changes to the agenda?
Yes, I sent you an addition to the agenda in our business resolutions.
And it's in there as
It is there.
can I get a
Along with
motion
the
to
agreement.
approve? Can I get a motion
moved.
to approve? Okay,
Second.
all right. Roll call, please.
Dr. Beers?
Yes.
Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes,
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
okay. So we're operating under the agenda as it appears in board docs. No chat room signups for public remarks.
Nope.
So take it away.
Resolution 72 to approve routine matters of the West Geauga Local Board of Education, to approve the minutes, the substitute list for both certified and classified staff.
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Dr. Beers?
Yes.
Resolution 73 to accept the donation from Ms. Zabo for the Joseph J. Zabo Chemistry Educational Fund for $500.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Dr. Beers?
Yes.
Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
Rich?
Personnel resolutions. Resolution 74 is to approve a certified long-term substitute assignment. Actually, there are two.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Dr. Beers?
Yes.
Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Resolution 75 is to approve changes in classified staff contracts for the 2020-2021 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Did we get a second? I'm
I
not-
seconded.
Kathy?
Okay. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Dr. Beers?
Yes.
Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Resolution 76 is to accept a classified staff retirement.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Dr. Beers,
Yes.
Mr. Katsowski,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Mr. Thorson.
Yes.
Just like to note that Josephine Ward has been with the district for 25 years as a proctor, so she has been a part of West G for a long time.
Yeah.
Wish her well.
Absolutely.
Shall we go to business?
No policy and program resolutions, so,
Correct. There will be some next time.
okay.
Business Resolution 77 to approve service agreement between Educational Alternatives and the West Geauga Local Schools for the 2021 school year.
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
Oh.
You going for it, Ben?
Yeah. Karen, is this the one, one of them had no dollar figure in for the services, or did it have it later? I'm trying to remember.
They have it
It had it
per
later
day.
in the appendix, wasn't it?
They have it per day.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you expect us to spend on those services?
We have approximately 80 to 90 more days left in this, so it's about. I'll have to get you those numbers here. Hang on.
Well, less than 20,000 presumably. Or is that not accurate?
No, it's probably going to be a little bit more, probably in the $30,000 range.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
Thanks, Karen.
Anything else? Call the roll, please.
Dr. Beers,
Yes.
Mr. Katsowski,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Mr. Thorson.
Yes.
Resolution 78 to approve student transportation agreement between Educational Alternatives and the West Geauga Local School District for 2021 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Katsowski,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Mr. Thorson,
Yes.
Dr. Beers.
Yes.
Resolution 79 to approve a settlement agreement and release between Great America Financial Services Corporation and the West Geauga Local School District. This is for the Newberry telephone lease.
So moved.
Second.
You want to?
And nice job. Whoever
Anything
negotiated
you want
that.
to add, Karen?
We're happy to get rid of the phones.
Okay, I think we can all get
It is,
behind that one.
yeah, this is something, we had a 5-year, Newberry had a 5-year lease agreement that was currently in place. So the buyout that was originally going to be in there was around $40,000. We were able to negotiate something less than that with the return of the phones. So we are working with Sean and his department to get those shipped back to Great America Leasing Company.
Okay, call the roll, please.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Mr. Thorson,
Yes.
Dr. Beers,
Yes.
Mr. Katsowski.
Yes.
All right, it's all you, Rich.
All me. January was Board Appreciation Month. The Ohio School Boards Association every year sends out certificates of appreciation to the board members who serve schools throughout the state. This year, OSBA also recognized 2 of our board members for longevity of service. That would be Kathy Leavenworth, who's been involved not only in local board politics, but also on the state board for many years. And then Dr. William Beers, who has also been an active board member for many years. As part of this year's recognition to the board members, I had written each of them a letter that I sent home when I had the certificates from OSBA sent to them. And this was such an unusual year, I thought it really warranted my reading that for the record here. And Karen, I sent you what I had sent to them earlier, but I'd like to read it for the benefit of all, because I think this has been an extraordinary year. We hear a lot about unprecedented times, and I think the word's been overused, but certainly the conditions that elicited the use of the word have not been exaggerated. So, dear, substitute the name of the board member, thank you for your service to the West Geauga Local School District as a member of the West Geauga Board of Education. I'm pleased to present to you the certificate from the Ohio School Boards Association in recognition and appreciation of your efforts. The work of a school board member and consequently his or her influence is seldom fully understood by the general public. Those of us who have a front row seat know how heavily a board member's actions, words, and demeanor affect the school district that he or she has been elected to lead. I've worked with many boards of education my 20 plus years as a superintendent. 3 were exceptional. This board is one of them. Thank you for all that you do to represent the interests of the West Geauga community and particularly its children. Your dedication to the students, parents, and residents of West G is beyond question. This past school year, you led West Geauga through the territory transfer of the former Newbury Local School District into West Geauga, the reconfiguration of our elementary school buildings, and a life-altering pandemic. Always, you did so with an awareness of your responsibility to promote the academic, social, and emotional growth of our students and the physical and mental safety of our students, staff, and residents. As superintendent, I've watched you wrestle with issues, explore options, and chart courses of action that are often complex and challenging. Always, you acted in accordance with your fiduciary responsibility in the best interests of the community that you serve. Thank you for your thoughtful, focused leadership during a year characterized by uncertainties and challenges. I look forward to working with you in 2021. And it was signed by me, and it was certainly very heartfelt, and it's my expression of gratitude to the board for all that you've done for this community and for us as your staff. And by that, I mean all the staff in the district, because you truly have an eye toward each of them and an ear toward each. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
hey, thank Bill for his leadership throughout last year. I'm sure it wasn't what he was expecting when he
No, it wasn't,
when he
but
was sworn in.
you know, we've got a great board that works well together, and when we have our differences, we can discuss through them and come to the right kind of conclusion. And we've got a great administration that makes it easy for us to work with them and get things done for the school. So
This year, more than ever, I think was a team effort. I look at the
Yeah.
effort of our staff to keep our schools open, our teachers, our classified staff. I was hopeful the year would go well. I couldn't guarantee that because there were so many moving pieces, but I think people really came forward and did their part. And the ones who've offered instruction in the classrooms, the ones who kept our classrooms clean, who fed our kids, who've transported our kids, there were some bumps in the road, and we weathered those bumps very well. But I think it was making sure that we had a board that was involved and attentive was really a help to each and every one of us. So I thank you for that. And Chet, thank you. I did tailor Bill's letter a little bit differently because he was the one who was at the helm sort of for this year. But it really was every one of the board members working together. And I've worked with a lot of boards of education, and they change every few years, as you know, and they have both an individual and a collective personality. And I have to say, of all the boards I've worked with over the course of my career, there are 3 that stand out as being the best boards in my mind, and you guys are one of them. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Okay, I believe that Ben has a board report he'd like to give.
I
Few
do.
words.
Karen, can we get that up? Or Jim?
We're gonna try, I believe I am. Jim, can you? Here.
Okay.
whoa.
So let's go over this. We had,
You want to make it a little larger?
Oh, we can all see it perfectly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It must be my old eyes.
I can, hang on. I'm sorry. Am I getting better?
No.
No? Still nothing?
Man, I think you're gonna have to go like 400% on that one.
Okay.
yeah, well, we can make this fairly brief because
Yeah, let Ben talk.
once this is presented, I can email everyone now a copy of this and not worry about being in violation of sunshine law or anything. So it's now part of the record. And what this simply is an outline for what we might expect to accomplish if we do a compensation survey and create bands of compensation and look at meshing the compensation with job description and experience and so on. And it's for you to read over, give your input. Excuse me, Karen and I have some ideas about consultants to call. I've spoken to one, and the consultants would be, that I talked to, who were recommended by OSBA, were, they said, very happy to come in and help us with our request for proposals, so that we, we get the right information in our requests for proposals. So all you really need to do before the next meeting is read this over and email me your comments or give them to me at the next meeting, and we can go from there.
Ben, if I could just ask a question of clarification, particularly for those who may not be able to read the print there. What you're looking at, I believe, is bands and comparative salaries related to administrative salaries, correct? And the reason
This is strictly administrative. Yeah,
yes,
Rich.
the reason I wanted to clarify that is because our salary bands for our certified and our classified staff, our salary schedules are negotiated. And I didn't want the union
Exactly. Exactly.
to think
It doesn't touch on anything that's negotiated. And fortunately, both you and Karen have experience in this kind of thing. And so, we can draw from you as both we're doing. In fact, one thing which I mentioned in that document is I would like to have a proposal which includes a little bit of consultation, which would be about some of the current best practices in compensation and how to implement them and so on, so that the board can understand it and so that you and Karen are hearing what we're hearing.
Sure. I just wanted to make sure that the union reps who perhaps were here tonight wouldn't think that
Oh,
we
yeah.
were planning to
Strictly
negotiate outside
administrative,
contracts.
and you're putting together an administrative handbook, and so having those salary bands as part of it, I think, would add a lot of transparency to the community, because they'll know how their tax dollars are being spent and why we're spending money. That it's, the idea is that the community, for one thing, will be reassured that we're spending money in a responsible way by looking at market rates. And I think employees will find it helpful to know where their band is and what they can expect. So that's it. Thanks.
Ben, what's your, I don't understand your plan. You want people you want us to respond to you, and then you're going to take those answers, and what are you going to do with them? I mean, I would rather have us all talk about this together. I don't.
I would too. That's what I'm talking about is the preliminary us talking, so that it would be more efficient. If everybody gave me before the meeting, or even at the meeting if you can't do it, but if everyone gave me their input, then we would have everything on one document, and then we could discuss it and have the basic outline of what we're expecting, then get the consultants in to tell us what they think should be in the RFP from their experience. And then we create an RFP that's tailored to us. And then we interview some consulting firms.
we haven't discussed whether we want to do this or not. I mean,
Well, exactly. So this is the preliminary. We have to know what it is we want to do before we know whether or not we want to do it, right? So the whole thing is to determine whether or not this is a direction we want to go.
But if we determine that it is, that we do want to go in such a direction, I think Ben's done some groundwork laying out a possible path. I think that's what he was exploring there.
okay.
Yeah.
And I would suggest that everyone review the information I sent out a week or so ago as well. And the questions that I asked at that time as to what we wanted to do with this study.
Yeah, and I took that into account when I wrote this document up. So all of your thoughts formed basically the foundation for this. So
Okay.
Check it out.
Would you send that out again, Bill, just in case you can't locate it? It was sent to our board addresses?
I sent it to both your board and your other address, Kathy.
Okay. I've just been getting a lot of.
And you responded,
Okay, you can
Kathy.
say spam.
Yeah, no, I know I got it. I just.
I can send it, Kathy, I can send it to you again, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ben. And now the board will adjourn to executive session to discuss personnel matters, discipline, and conduct a conference with legal counsel related to pending or imminent court action. I need a motion.
So move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Mr. Thorson?
I said no. Will we not go in executive session? We've had an executive session every meeting for 7 months.
You're gonna like this.
All right,
I'm sure
yes,
of it.
yes.
Dr. Beers?
Yes.
Mr. Katsowski?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Okay, we would
All right,
like to
Jim.
invite Rich, Eric Johnson, who may or may not be on yet.
He is. He is.
Nancy, Karen, Phil Scheiben, Ann Thomas, and I don't believe Mike Sustin is here. Okay, I need.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes, that's what I need.
Second.
All right. Call
It's your birthday, you get to make it.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Dr. Beers?
Yes.
Mr. Katsowski?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.